Something is always touching you. However, technically nothing touches you because the atoms repel each other. So, take that as you may. Greetings, haven't yet, be sure you hit like and subscribe for daily gaming content and ring that bell to join the clan and level up. Oh, and remember to stick around until the end because our #1 spot may bring up some memories you forgot, and because I screw up and you'll get to see it. Horror games have been around for a while and some of the old ones were really good for both their time and ours. But which ones do we need to see resurface? That's what we're exploring with today's list of the top 10 scary games that need a remake. Roll the intro. And at 10, Dino Crisis. Resident Evil, but instead of zombies, it's dinosaurs, time travel, and a drizzle of Jurassic Park. After mixing those together, you will for sure have Dino Crisis. This game tasks you to explore a top secret research facility on the island of Ibis, which somehow has been taken over by vicious dinosaurs. Would they be vulnerable to bullets? I have no idea since this hasn't really been able to be tested. Maybe dinosaur skin is bulletproof and could be of use to our police force. The gameplay is tense and nerve shaking, and the encounters with the Velociraptors, Pteranodons, and the T-Rex are truly memorable if you played the original. On harder difficulties you die constantly, and the sequel to the game is excellent, focusing on more game. If this was made now, oh my lord, I can hear the train coming. The graphics were good at the time, but it can't match the horror and anxiety felt in the original game. If this was made now, oh my lord, the graphics were good at the time, but now it would be even more terrifying and gruesome, and the things that games can get away with these days, the amount of gore that would be present, oh my god. And at 9, System Shock 2. System Shock 2 was created by the masterminds behind BioShock. It's a futuristic FPS where an alien virus has infected the crew of a spaceship, and your job is to stop that virus from spreading. Throughout the game you encounter infected crew members who will lash out violently, causing you to have to put them down. But they were once your friends. Weapons must be repaired constantly while you wade your way through frightening, psychologically terrifying locations. System Shock 2 would be terrifying, and especially with an updated engine, the scares in this game would be a real shock to the system. I'm not going to apologize for that. I stand by what I said. And at 8, The Thing. The Thing is a direct sequel to the 1982 John Carpenter film of the same name, which Carpenter actually endorsed. After the events of the film, 2 special forces teams are sent to investigate the situation, where they come across The Thing and they must fight for their lives. This third-person survival horror has you commanding up to 3 squad members. A mechanic that was added also includes levels of fear and trust. Some NPCs can trust you, while others can fear that you're the Thing. And any one of your teammates can be the Thing. It's nerve-wracking since you never really know who you can trust. But if this game got a graphical and engine boost, so many more things could be added, like NPCs picking up on movements to see whether they can trust you or not, them fully trusting you if they see the Thing together in the same room, the Elder Scrolls 6 graphics in this game. Oh my god! And at 7, Dark Seed. Dark Seed is an odd pick for this list, because it's a point-and-click adventure. You play as an advertising executive who ends up getting an alien embryo shoved into his head. So basically, this dude gets an alien egg implanted into his noggin. As you play through the game, you travel to a parallel universe and encounter plenty of aliens for yourself, and if you fail to unravel alien stuff. It's a really interesting story, but the most memorable thing about this game has to be the stunning artwork from H.R. Giger. While the artwork was beautiful, it could use a modern revamp, and with a story this interesting and with real consequences, you need to experience it firsthand. And with point-and-click games like Five Nights at Freddy's making a resurgence, maybe it's time for another point-and-click adventure to get a shot at the spotlight. And at 6, Hell Knight. When Resident Evil went big, you know a whole slew of other dev teams hopped on the survival horror hype train. One of the earlier and better attempts came from the Atlus 1998 Hell Knight. While it only saw release in Japan and Europe, it was a really unsettling game that took place in underground tunnels and communities beneath the streets of Tokyo. When an unstoppable, genetically mutated predator gets set loose, you must find a way to survive. No weapons, no magic, just crime. You get forced to flee if the creature comes close, and it takes out your supporting NPCs. This game features lines like, "We're all gonna die just like bugs, ha 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 ha." Could you even imagine this with modern graphics? Perhaps the simplicity of the characters is what helps make the game so terrifying, or perhaps it's the cold dead parted eyes that do that instead. And at 5, Clock Tower: The First Fear. Originally released in 1995, Clock Tower: The First Fear is a classic scares for its gameplay. You play as an orphan who was adopted into a family with a mansion known as Clock Tower, where you soon find yourself alone. You get stalked by a deformed boy with a large pair of scissors, and this soon becomes a staple of the franchise. I love office supply puns. The title may be outdated, but that's exactly why it needs a revamp with today's graphics. Really need to bring them back. And at 4, Nightmare Creatures. The original Nightmare Creatures is, to my knowledge, a little known game. The 1997 survival horror game had a ridiculously cheesy story, which is just my pot of fondue. But the story is also rich, deep, and dark enough to keep you going and really make you feel for it. Nightmare Creatures allows you to control either Ignatius or Nadia, and you can use pistols, mines, fire bombs, magic spells, and even staffs to beat the living hell out of nightmarish demons from the deepest depths of hell. The game also adds an additional optional adrenaline bar, which must be replenished with battles. If it runs out, you start losing health instead. If this game was updated to include modern day mechanics and graphics, I wouldn't leave my house. Both hell. If this game was to get photogeometry and photorealistic textures, I don't think anywhere would be safe anymore. And at 3, Silent Hill. What I think of when I think Silent Hill New Age Update is Silent Hills PT. We almost got a new series out of this timeless classic, but the project was scrapped. I say, bring it back! And some of the most iconic the world has seen, and it was all controlled by a dog. But when news dropped about a reboot that would bring the series to the modern age, we were all stoked, until it was announced that the project was dropped. So based on our excitement, they need to bring it back. The series even got 2 movies, several spin-off games, and print pieces. So I think it's more deserving than any to get a remake, but we almost did, so it can't be number 1, guys, I'm sorry. And at 2, Sweet Home. Before even Resident Evil, Capcom essentially, if not literally, pioneered the survival horror genre with their Japan-only NES title Sweet Home. You played a group of filmmakers investigating an old mansion in search of priceless works of art, to probably fund their startup. The game was played from a top-down perspective and was a smash hit. The residents of the mansion, however, didn't approve of your sneaking and decided that you need to leave. Each member of the party has special abilities and tools that let them bypass different engine or even change the viewpoint to first person, and you'll have a smash hit yet again. All the YouTubers would play it and you'd get free PR because of it. It's only logical. Do it. Finally, and at number 1, I'll Bleed. The 2001 Dreamcast cult classic I'll Bleed is one of the most psycho entries the horror genre has ever seen. A roller coaster ride through the horror game's greatest hits and best scares. You play as Eric O'Christie, where you and your 3 friends are given tickets to the Walmart brand Halloween haunt called I'll Bleed, where you will receive a reward of $100 million for reaching the end, if you can. Dude, I'd do that for like $100. Are you kidding me? I need to pay rent. A death trap with the primary goal of killing you and your friends using insane enemies and lots of mutilation. The mechanics involve keeping your pulse under control and keeping an eye on your senses almost like they're your vitals. If this got a new age update, holy crap, I don't think we would be able to go anywhere for the rest of our lives. And it would be far too likely that someone would adopt the idea and use it in the real world. So, there we have it, friends, the top 10 scary games that need a remake. What did you think of this list, and what are some scary games that you would like to see remade? Let me know in the comments, and while you're down there, you might as well hit like and subscribe for daily gaming content and ring that bell to join the clan and level up. Thank you all so much for watching. I have been in Charlemagne Connor Monroe, and I'll see you in another video. I'm just waiting for my nose to start bleeding on camera. I know it's gonna happen at some point. I'm so focused on trying to make sure my nose doesn't bleed. I feel like it's gonna come.
Just think about it and let it happen.